Go.
The opponent has grabbed my double lapel. The first thing I'm going to do is take my left arm up and over the opponent's arm, pulling them close to my body, creating a wrist trap. I will then step behind the opponent's right foot, my right foot, establishing a riding stance. I will then execute a right outer forearm strike to the base of the opponent's neck. I will then grab the right side of the opponent's body with both hands. I will then execute a right sweep kick to the opponent's right leg, taking the opponent to the ground. I will then execute a right downward reverse vertical punch to the opponent's midsection or face.
Yes, sir.
The opponent has his right hand on my left shoulder, creating an open position. And this is considered an open position. The first thing I'm going to do is take my left arm up and over the opponent's right arm in a serpentine-like motion, creating an elbow lock. I will then step back with my right foot, establishing a left front stance. I will then execute a right knee kick to the opponent's groin while simultaneously chambering and executing a right outside knife hand strike to the base of the opponent's neck. I will then step back with the right foot, reestablish the left front stance, and execute a right upper palm heel strike to the opponent's chin or nose. And keep in mind that that technique is a two-sided technique. Of course, left hand on right shoulder. And of course we did right hand on left shoulder. So that's a two-sided technique. Okay? The opponent has his left hand on my left shoulder, creating a closed position. The first thing I'm going to do is execute a left outer forearm release to the bend of the opponent's left arm. I will then step behind the opponent's left foot with my left foot, establishing a riding stance, and execute a right reinforced elbow strike to the opponent's midsection, followed by a right downward hammer fist to the opponent's groin. And once again, that's a two-sided technique. Right on right, left on left. The opponent has me in a full Nelson. The first thing I'm going to do is drop all my body weight downward into a riding stance, pinning the opponent's arms close to my body. I will then step behind the opponent's right foot with my left foot while keeping my left arm close to the opponent's body. I'll take my left arm up and over the opponent's left shoulder, creating a neck trap. I will then execute, while bending the opponent over my left thigh, I will then execute a right downward palm heel strike to the opponent's groin. The opponent has me in a headlock with our heads in the same direction. The first thing I'm going to do is execute a right upper reverse knife hand to the opponent's groin, causing release. Can you see my hand? Can you see my hand? Oh, that's
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's to the groin. I will then reach over the opponent. I'll take my right arm up and over the opponent's left shoulder and execute a right inverted dragon's claw to the opponent's throat. While bending the opponent over my right thigh, I will execute a left downward palm heel strike to the opponent's groin. And again, that's a two-sided technique. The opponent has grabbed both of my wrists. The first thing that I'm going to do is turn my wrist inward toward the opponent's thumbs or doors, reversing the hold and turning the opponent's palms upward. I will then take the opponent's right arm underneath the left arm, and while keeping the hands high, I'm going to step behind the opponent's left foot with my left foot, then step behind the opponent's left foot with my right foot, and execute a right sweep kick to the opponent's left leg, taking it to the ground. The opponent has me in a chokehold and standing behind me with my left arm pinned behind my back. The first thing I'm going to do is turn my chin into the bend of the opponent's elbow to create a passage to breathe. I will then step behind the opponent's right foot with my left foot, causing a release. I will then execute a left reinforced elbow strike to the opponent's midsection. I will then pivot and execute a right reverse knife hand to the bridge of the opponent's nose. We have to let me see it. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The opponent has me again in a headlock and my head's in the opposite direction. The first thing I'm going to do is execute a left vertical punch to the opponent's floating ribs, causing a release. The next thing I'm going to do is step with my right foot behind the opponent's right foot, pivot, and execute a left reinforced elbow strike to the opponent's midsection. I will then step behind the opponent's right foot with my left foot, pivot, and execute a right reverse knife hand to the bridge of the opponent's nose.